Hello and welcome to my channel. My name's Amanda and I am Mrs. G Makes. Right now I'm going to bring you something different. I talk to you so often about my crochet projects and my knitting projects, but I never actually show you any finished objects. And I thought it was about time that I sat down and did a video where I showcased some of my recent makes and also a few of the whips, my works in progress. So without further ado, let's get on with it. As I said, I have just gone through this once, so I will go through it a second time now that I've actually remembered to press the record button. So let's start off with something that I made towards the end of last year. Might have been about September, October time. And this is the beautiful, I'm trying to work out which way round it goes. This is the beautiful Rings of Saturn shawl by the Crochet Project. It's an asymmetrical shawl. And I made this using a Shapier's Whirl. The pattern calls for 200 grams of sock weight yarn, but I decided to use this gorgeous pink and grey whirl that I've had in my stash for probably about 5 years. And I've tried to make follow various different patterns and just never been happy with it and frogged it back. And then I came across hang on a minute, I'll get the pattern book out. Then I came across this book that had been on my shelf for a while, and it's the Shawl Project Book 4 by Joanne Scrace and Kat Goldin of the Crochet Project. And there are patterns inside for these 5 shawls. This is the one, this is Rings of Saturn. I think they've used 3 different skeins for theirs. It would probably look nice in a fade, if you've got any fade sets, which obviously is what a whirl, Shapier's Whirl is. A fade. Now, where's the pattern? Here it is. So you can see that a bit better. But absolutely beautiful, and I enjoyed making it so much I've actually started another one. I found another long forgotten whirl, another Shapier's one, and this was from a Christmas special crochet along that they did a few years ago, and I don't know if you can still get this or whether it was purely exclusive to the kit. This is Evergreen. That's the whirl. And here's my progress so far. So I've done quite a bit. I really must make sure I finish it. Don't want it to sit and languish for too long. So that's the green. You can see it's quite dark at the bottom and we're already fading lighter. Ooh. And, you know, we've got lighter colours still to come. It doesn't use a whole whirl, and in fact with this one I've got quite a bit of the pink left. I'm not quite sure what I'll do with that, but I'll add it to my stash, and I'm sure I'll create something. So yeah, that I can highly recommend this pattern. It's really lovely. It's a great TV project. You know, I've talked about those before, the TV projects where it means that I don't have to follow the pattern too closely. It's a memorable pattern, and you can watch a good gritty drama without losing track of where you are on your project. So yes, I don't have any plans for this one, so I shall probably keep it now that I've shown you guys. I'd put it to one side so that, because I blocked it after I'd made it. I washed it and blocked it. But now that I've recorded this, then I can start wearing it. So that's my first finished object. The second finished object is this gorgeous baby blanket. And again, this was a stash buster, just using some lemon DK that I had in my stash. I think the pattern calls for about 400 grams, but in actual fact, this only used approximately 250 grams. So not bad at all. There is another round to the pattern, but I didn't add it. It was a little picot edge that goes on top of this little fan border. But I was quite happy just to finish at this stage with the fan. But this will be going to charity. There's a group of ladies that I belong to, where we knit and crochet specific items, so that the lady who runs our group, she's not sitting on excess amounts of blankets and items that aren't actually going to get used. I think, what does she call it? I think something like knit to order. So basically she has her contacts within various charities, and they contact her and say what items they're in need of at any particular time of year. And then she sends a shout out to her small group of ladies, and we get busy with our hooks and needles and create exactly what is needed. So the latest shout out was for some gender neutral blankets. So that's why I did that nice lemon one. And this is, I've just realised I forgot to tell you, this blanket is a pattern available on Ravelry, and it is written by Veronica Cromwell of Blue Star Crochet. Yeah, I thought I'd got that wrong for a moment. It's a corner to corner blanket. I've made corner to corner blankets several times, but never one using a fan. A shell. I've only ever done the three, the clusters of trebles. So this was really unusual, using a shell for a corner to corner, and it's lovely. Gives a really nice sort of traditional feel to it. That's what this blanket reminds me of, a traditional blanket. Sorry, a traditional baby blanket. So the next one, can you believe this? 3 finished objects. This is unheard of. This is the Baby Pandemonium blanket, written by Lisa and Linda Rose from the Crochet Sanctuary. This pattern was written during lockdown as the baby to the big Pandemonium crochet along that they wrote. It ran the whole way through the first lockdown in the UK, and it was a stash buster called Pandemonium. I think the name came about because of, we were all living through what felt like pandemonium when we went into lockdown, and also because the blankets that everybody was creating it was designed to be a stash buster, so that people, obviously we couldn't get out to the shop, so it was using up what you got in your stash, and so they would be full of random colours and everybody's blankets would be different, hence Pandemonium. But I'd never got round to making the baby version, and I thought last year it was about time that I had a go. So again, using stash, I made the blanket. Sorry, someone at the door then. So I better put that pattern back in with the green shawl. Otherwise, when I pick it up, I'll wonder where it's gone. So what do you think to that? 3 finished objects. And this one, I started when I got back from holiday in the middle of January, and it was finished by the end of January. So, and I'm not a fast crocheter, so that was quite a quick make. Definitely recommend that pattern. I'll be making plenty more blankets from that pattern. Right, let me put those. I've got a bag down here for these blankets. Right, now, oh, I think that there are several items, several whips in here, so I shall go through and explain what I've got on the go at the moment. On the top here, look at all these ends. Oh, that makes me sad. This is a weather blanket. Now, I'm sure you've heard of a weather blanket before. There are various ways of making them. The one that I did previously was done in stripes, crocheted stripes, and you took the average temperature each day, or it might even have been whatever the temperature was at midday each day, and you would have a colour chart that represented different temperatures, and then you would crochet a row in whatever colour that was. So if it was 10 degrees, thought I'd got it upside down. If it's 10 degrees falls into this, the 9 to 12 degrees, and that would be this turquoise colour. But this is a kit that I got from Lou at the Wool Monkey. And there was a pattern. I don't know if I've got the pattern here. There was a pattern, and basically you did a square each day according to the weather. And for me, the colour in the middle is the high of any particular day, and on the outside it's the low. Now Lou's, I'll insert a picture here of what Lou's weather blanket looks, temperature blanket looks like, because hers is slightly different. Hers has got different symbols, so if it's windy, it's like a spiral shape in the middle. If it's snow, it's got little sort of puff stitches. If it's sun, then it's a round. Oh no, snow is a snowflake in the centre. Rain is the little clusters, so puff stitches, and can't remember what the other ones are. But basically, I was playing catch up because I was away in for half of January on holiday, so I missed the beginning. And I did the first 6 days in January, and I thought I'm never going to be able to keep up with doing the different patterns for what the weather is. So I thought I just want to represent the colours. So, like I say, the middle is the high temperature, the outside is the low temperature. And this is the first 13 days. I've done a white square for the beginning, and I've decided I'm going to do a white square dividing the months up, so we know where one month starts and the other one ends. And my blanket is going to be 14 squares by 27. So it's quite a big blanket, actually, that's going to be. And I'm joining them up using what I think is the mattress stitch. So I'm doing them in rows, joining them like that. And then, you know, I'll join each row underneath. So that's what I'm doing. And then at some point, I'll have to sew in all those pesky ends. So they're all the different colours that are going to be used. I don't think there's going to be much call for this burgundy winey colour, because that is 30 blah, 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 that is 33 degrees and above. The black is -4 and below, and I have used black. Let's have a look. This is the next lot of squares that I've started joining together, and you can see there's black there. So we had a couple of days where it got cold. I think that's when we had snow. So that is going to be an ongoing project for the whole of the year. So I do hope that I can keep going with that, because I think when I did it previously, well, I know I didn't. I did it for a few months and then I stopped. So the good thing is Lou at the Wool Monkey is keeping track of all the temperatures. So even if I don't manage to keep track of the temperatures, I know I can pop into the shop and take a photo of the sheet. She's got it outside the shop front door, and I can just so I know, you know, what I need to be doing. So that's that. Now this basket is getting a bit full with the projects that I'm currently working on. Don't for 1 minute think that this is my only basket of whips, but that is for another video, the things that aren't in this basket, because believe you me, I have, yes, far too many whips. Anyone who's been around any length of time will know that about 3 years ago I did Vlogmas, where every day I opened up a project bag to discover which whip it contained. So I did that for 24 days, and there were plenty that I hadn't opened. So I've got at least 24 whips, and it's only just increased ever since then. Anyway, once again, I'm digressing. So when I was in Aldi yesterday, I saw this. I don't know, it's called a felt caddy. And I thought that could be exactly what I need for this temperature blanket. So I think that I could, you know, fit in the squares and some of the yarn. Not all of it's going to fit in, but I think a lot of it will. Let's have a look. There we go. Oh. Yeah. So that would be good if I could keep the temperature blanket in here, completely separate. Oh, to all my other things. I've just found, I was looking for these the other night, boob lights. In fact, at the bottom of the bag, I've just found a couple of the squares. This was the rain one. Remember me saying about the little puff stitches just here? But I had to read the pattern far too much. And it was taking too long for me to do those squares. So that's why I've just gone for straightforward grannies, and I can rattle those off nice and quickly. So yeah, I'm really pleased with this bag. Oh, so I'll leave my boob lights in there as well. These are Toft ones. I say boob lights, they're neck lights. But because of, whoops, because of where they sit in the crochet community, and probably the knitting community as well, we sometimes call them boob lights. Have you got your boob lights? And they're great when working with dark yarn. Then you can change the settings. Ooh. Right. There you go. And I like these Toft ones. They wrap up really small. So small I didn't know where I'd put them. So yeah, I think this is a really good bag. £3.99 this was from Aldi. And I could put my card on the outside. And my crochet hook. Wherever that is. That's probably on my table. So yeah. Very happy with that. That's a good little purchase. And I can sit that next to my armchair. And it's like I say, it's not going to get muddled up with everything else in this bag, because I love this bag, but it was getting a bit full with my weather temperature blanket. Right. Oh, there's another square. Put that in there. What else have I got? Oh yeah, there's the weather blanket. And can you see it's got, so that's the sun for when it's sunny, snowy, rainy. Can't remember what that is. Can't remember what that is. Oh, one would be foggy. That's the wind. Pop that pattern in there. Right. What else? Here we go. So, I attended a workshop at Wool Monkey. You hear me talk about Wool Monkey a lot because Wool Monkey is like half a mile from my home. It's a bricks and mortar store, and it's actually Lou who taught me how to crochet and read a pattern 8 years ago when she had her original bricks and mortar store, and then after a few years she had to close that, and it reopened again last September in a new location. So you hear me talk about it a lot because I have a yarn shop half a mile from my house. How lucky am I? So of course that's where I go for my yarn now, that's where I go for knit and natter, and that's where I'll go if I fancy doing any workshops. So it was beaded wrist warmers, knitted beaded wrist warmers. Now, using beads in crochet and knitting is not a new thing, but it's new to me. I've never got round to actually learning how to do that. So I was free this particular Wednesday evening that Lou ran the workshop, so I thought I'm going to pop along and spend a lovely evening knitting with like-minded people and learning a new skill. And the good news is I've finished one wrist warmer. Now, a bit like crochet, I'm a slow crocheter and I'm an even slower knitter. Hang on. Can't tell what I've got here. So yeah, no surprise, I chose one of my favourite colours, teal. And this is it. Look at that. Isn't it a lovely pattern? So obviously I need to sew it up down the side. And they are just wrist warmers. There's no, literally just to keep your wrists warm. But oh, I was sport for choice because they'd also got a gorgeous pink, hot pink yarn. So I might make another pair in the pink because it was gorgeous. I don't know if I've got the ball band to tell you what it is. I bet I've not. What's this? No. Oh, that's annoying. Let's see what the pattern says. Oh, it doesn't say. Oh, I can't remember what we used. But it's really, really nice. Really nice. So I need to sit down and finish the second one to that. But yeah, love that. Now, if I manage to find out during the editing process what this yarn is called, I'll put a little thingy bobby on the screen so that you know. It's really nice, really soft. So that's that. That's a work in progress. Let me show you this. Oh dear. Talk about that for a big body part. This is the body of a sausage dog, believe it or not. I started it over a year ago. So I have to now hope that I can find the pattern, and I think I've done other bits of the body, but where they are I don't know. But yeah, I stumbled across that in there the other day. Made me laugh when I found it. Right. And still there's more in the basket. So this is my current work in progress. As you all know, I love purple. And this is, I'll find the details of what it is. Look at those colours. Excuse the knot. It's in a bit of a mess. But look at those colours. This isn't a Shape's Whirl. It's by another brand. Oh, got caught on it. Oh. And my friend Gail got me this for Christmas, not the Christmas just gone, but the Christmas before. And I wanted to make a shawl with it, but again, couldn't decide on a pattern. So again, I wanted a nice simple TV project crochet. I don't just do TV project crochet. I do things that are more complicated, but I tend to do less of them. And I always like to have at least one TV project on the go, because often my only time to crochet is maybe like 9 o'clock at night when I sit down, and it's like, oh, I just need something really simple to keep my hands busy. Anyway, I headed back to the Crochet Project because I've got quite a number of their shawl patterns, and I found this one, the Contour Shawl. And it's a very simple 2-row pattern. I've managed miraculously to remember it, so I now don't have to refer to the pattern at all. You need, let's have a look what it says, 2.5, no, you need 114 grams, so in total that would be like 228 grams of 4-ply yarn. That's, for here it says 475 yards. Yeah, the pattern works well with any 4-ply yarn, and size can be adjusted if your skeins are not as generous. We use 250 grams or 855 yards to make the shawl. If you would like to stripe the shawl with 2 different skeins, change colour on right side rows. So it says it's easy rating, and I would agree, it is easy. It is, in UK terms, double trebles and front post double crochets. They're the only 2 stitches that you need to know. And it's lovely. I really, really like the effect that that you get. So yes, that is my current project, and this one has got a little bit of sparkle in. Can you see? Don't know if it's picking up on camera. Let me put it in front of my face and it might. So quite a bit just there. There we go. I think that's showing now. Right. So I like a nice shawl that you can, you know, when it's cold in the evenings and you can just wrap yourself up. I do like those, but I've hit a small snag. You saw how messy that's got. Look at that. I am stuck at the moment. I cannot get this undone. I don't want to have to cut the yarn, but I may well have to because I'm wasting far too much time. That's just a horrible knot. Oh. So I might, for ease, when I get to the end of the row, I might cut it and start again, sort of beyond the knot. So that is what I'm working on at the moment. This is what's taking up my time. I took that to Knit and Natter this week, and I mean, as you know, well, you might know, you might not know, I make project bags, and at different times of the year they become available to purchase in my Etsy shop. But I stumbled across, I think, the very, very first bag that I made with my daughter Amy. She'd got a sewing machine, and so we were looking for simple beginner sewing patterns for her, and we came across one that made a bag out of an old pair of jeans. You cut the leg off the jeans and you used it to make a bag. So this is it. And I really should make more because it is such a handy little bag. So it's literally as wide as the trouser leg, and then we just boxed the bottom so that you've got a little bit of depth at the bottom, not too much. And I will regularly just throw this into my handbag if I'm going anywhere. It's got a little tab on the top. So yeah, the project and the yarn fits in here very nicely. Put that in there. Put that in. Get the pattern. And then it folds over like that and fastens like that. It's just a really handy bag. And I keep thinking that I should try and make some more to sell, either from denim or just do this sort of style in some other nice fabric. But such a handy bag that is, and obviously hard wearing and totally suitable for throwing in the washing machine. I found the ball band from the purple yarn that I was using for that shawl, and it's Yarn Art. And it is 53% cotton, 43% pack. I wonder what that is, pack. I don't think I've ever come across that before. And 4% metallic polyester. It's colour 3278. I'll pop that in the bag. And apart from oddments of yarn, that's everything in that bag. But I do have something else to show you. I've lost my slipper. There it is. here we go. So 2 more things and I think that that's it. Oh no, there's more. 3 things, possibly 4, but they're only quick things, so don't worry. This is a finished object. It's a bag. Wool Monkey used to do a subscription crochet box, and this is one of the items, one of the projects, one of the months, and it's a little shopping bag. But I made a mistake. It should have longer handles. The handles should be twice as long as this, but I misread the pattern, and I didn't do enough stitches on the, I didn't do enough chains for the handle. So yeah, it's just a little wrist bag. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to use it. It might end up as a project bag for me to put a crochet project in. That might be the only thing that it's suitable for. So there's that little granny bag, quite like that. Then this, do you remember me doing the coronation blanket at the beginning of last year? Must have been about May time last year. Well, here it is. This was by Sirdar, wasn't it? Pattern. I think you can probably still get the pattern online. Absolutely beautiful, and it was to celebrate the King's coronation. Now the only things, I do class it as a finished object, even though technically it's not, and that's because the only things that I haven't done on this blanket, other than sew all the ends in, I mean, oh, look at that. The only thing I haven't done is sew the motifs here. I've made 1, maybe 2 of them, and there needs to be a motif in the middle and then on the outer squares. But other than that, it's finished. So jolly pleased with that. I feel like I'm rattling through these now. Do you remember my Christmas Advent from Hook and Kutch? The library yarn. Now I haven't touched this since before Christmas, but I'll show you the progress that I'd made on the scarf. Oh, that's not very much, is it? That's really not very much. So I think I'm on day 3. I wonder if I've finished day 3. So that's what I want to carry on. When I finish that shawl, I want to go back to the yarn advent projects. That's what I want to do. So I want to carry on with the Hook and Kutch shawl, scarf, and then the other one, do you remember? That was, if I rummage deep, that was the Cuddle Bums. That's the So I decided to do a different pattern to everybody else because I had a problem with the pattern that came with the Cuddle Bums Advent, and I can't even remember. I'm going to have to look back on my own Advents to remind me of what the pattern is that I actually ended up following. But I know it had about a 400 stitch cast on, and you do alternate rows of the solid blue and then the mini that came on the Advent, and it's a cowl, that sort of, oops, getting all caught up. That's how it's going to be worn, but obviously that's not, it's going to be much bigger than that, much deeper, but that's it. But the edges are a bit wrinkly. Can you see just a little? But I'm thinking I might leave it because once the rest of it's done, you're not going to notice those edges, are you? So yeah, And they're my colours, you know, just sort of the purples and the bright pinks and everything. So, like I said, when I finished the purple shawl, then I'm going back to these. Because I want to get them finished. The only problem is I'm going to the Crochet Sanctuary at the end of this month, and there'll be 3 new patterns from that, 3 new projects. So I hope they're quick and easy ones so that I can rattle them off. Who am I kidding? I never finished the Crochet Sanctuary project. Oh dear. It's embarrassing. I can live in hope, can't I? Maybe 2024. I mean, I'm rambling now. But I think that I've done pretty well with all of these finished projects. I've finished quite a few just recently. And so I'm optimistic that 2024 is going to be the year that I actually finish more things. Do you think I can do it? Anyway. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing what projects I've been up to. And maybe inspired you to have a go at some different patterns. Maybe you've even tried some of the patterns that I've been showing you today. But yes, I'm very proud of all the ones that I've finished, and very delighted to be able to say to you, yes, I do finish projects. I'm not just a serial starter, despite all the terrible rumours. So I hope you've enjoyed watching. I've made this video obviously for all you guys to watch, but also for my big sister, who isn't very well at the moment, and she is an avid watcher of my YouTube channel and a great supporter of everything that I do as Mrs. G Makes. And she often asks me about projects, you know, if I finished any, you know, she remembers things from bits that I mention in my YouTube videos, and sort of always asks me to follow up on them, and then I forget to follow up on them. So I thought, right, I'm going to do something. I'm going to do a video especially for her so that she can see what I've been up to, and she can see the finished crochet projects that I've been making. So, well, on that note, I'd better sign off. I hope you've enjoyed this random vlog, and I'll catch you all again very soon indeed, I hope. Have a great day, whatever you're doing, and until next time, bye for now. I have just sat and recorded about 20 minutes worth of footage and completely forgot to press the record button. I'm clearly out of practice. So let's start again.